Hi guys, today let us move on to the second type of joining process, that is brazing. Well, brazing is a method of joining similar or dissimilar metals by means of a filler material whose melting temperature is above 450 degrees Celsius but below the melting point of the base metal. Well, here the filler material is called as spelter. It is a non-ferrous metal or an alloy, usually of copper, silver and aluminium. The principles of brazing surface preparation is same as that of the soldering process. So now let us move on to the types of brazing. First, torch brazing. Well, this is the most commonly used brazing process. Here, the two metals are joined by the heat obtained from a gas flame and by using a non-ferrous filler material. The surfaces are first joined and cleaned thoroughly in order to remove dirt, grease and other impurities. The flux is then applied at the joint. Borax, boric acid, fluorides or chlorides are some of the commonly used flux. After this, the base metals are heated by an oxyacetylene welding torch. The filler material is then placed at the joint and is heated. This filler material hence melts and flows through the joint by capillary action. The workpiece is then allowed to cool for some time and then the joint is cleaned to remove flux residues in order to prevent corrosion. Next, the furnace brazing. Well, this process is the one in which bonding is produced by using the furnace heat and a non-ferrous filler material. Well, a pre-fluxed and pre-cleaned part with filler material pre-placed at the joints are heated in a furnace. Hence, on proper heating, the filler material melts and flows into the joint. The assembly is then taken out of the furnace and allowed to cool for some time. Hence, the filler material solidifies and forms the joint. The joint is then cleaned and flux residues are removed. Next, dip brazing. Well, this type of brazing is used on aluminium assemblies. Here, the temperature of the molten flux bath can be controlled. The molten bath here will serve as both the heating medium and the fluxing agent. Here, the parts are first cleaned and removed of impurities. They are then preheated up to a certain extent before being dipped in the molten bath. They are then dipped in a heated molten bath which also acts as a flux agent. Once the filler material flows into the gap, the assembly is taken out of the molten bath and the residues are removed in order to prevent corrosion. Next, resistance brazing. Well, this type of brazing is used for special joints where heat must be restricted to a small area without overheating the surrounding parts. Here, the heat required for brazing is produced due to the electrical resistance offered by the joint members. Electric current is made to pass through these workpieces. Due to the resistance offered by the workpiece, a heat is generated on its surface. This heat can be localized to surround only small parts of the gap by controlling the amount of electric current. The filler material is then placed on the surface which then melts and flows into the gap, and once this is done, it is allowed to cool and hence solidifies to form a joint. Next, induction brazing. Well, induction brazing utilizes alternating electromagnetic fields of high frequency to produce the heat required. The flux and the filler material is already placed in the joint region. The workpiece is heated due to the magnetic field setup and eddy current induced from an AC input. Due to the heat, the filler material melts and flows into the gap of the workpiece. After this, it is cooled and solidified and hence a joint is prepared. The flux residues is then cleaned off and the process is completed. Thank you.
Wow, that's impressive! You have completed a magic today. For more videos, subscribe. Join our Facebook group and Instagram page for group discussion and live Magus videos for exam preparation in an hour. We start at ClassFly community for students to learn from a friend in a simple way and support them in their own languages. If you are willing to be that one friend who saves us at the exam night preparation, then please join us by visiting classfly.in.